Hi, Blue Demon fans. I'm Leo Blavin, welcoming you to Beyond the Clipboard. It's great to be joined this week by DePaul New Men's basketball head coach Tony Stubblefield. Tony Stubblefield comes to us by the way of the University of Oregon and is the newest head coach for DePaul men's basketball. This is our first chance to introduce him to the Blue Crew, as well as the DePaul student body in general. And it's great to be joined by you, Tony, or as you're referred to on campus, Coach Stubbs.
Well, I appreciate that, Leo. I'm really excited to be here. It's a great opportunity and really ready to go to work.
It's my privilege to be speaking with you here today, now that you've had some time to settle in a bit as a student. And on behalf of the Blue Crew, our student spirit organization, we have the privilege of asking you some questions. As unfortunately, you're not going to be able to meet the student body until the fall, but I'm sure you're looking forward to doing that. But can you tell us a little bit about what your first few weeks have been like with DePaul?
I tell you what, it's been a great time. It's obviously been very, very hectic, hitting the ground, recruiting wise, just being on the phone, doing a lot of Zooms, meeting some of the former players, meeting some of the current guys we have here, but it's been great. Really excited. Excited about being here and just looking forward to this opportunity.
You're here in Chicago now full time. Are there any places you've been to yet or any landmarks you're excited to see, but maybe haven't had a chance to get to yet?
I tell you what, it's just been the energy of the city, the summertime in Chicago, which is a great time, and just the weather here, just seeing all the people out in the community, just seeing all the energy. Really looking forward to get to a Cubs game, looking forward to get to a Sox game. So really so much to do in Chicago, but just excited about being here and taking it all in.
You're just getting used to living now in the Lincoln Park area. Have you had a chance to explore campus at all, and any landmarks or spots on campus that you've enjoyed seeing?
You know what? Campus is beautiful. My favorite is the Sullivan Center. Coming to work every day, being the head coach at DePaul, and just walking through those doors, it's been so exciting for me. So just coming to the Sullivan Center, pinching myself, knowing that I'm the new head coach at DePaul has been very exciting. And obviously there's great restaurants in the area that I've been to probably a little bit too much since I've been here, but it's so much good food in Chicago and so many great places to eat that I'm just trying to take advantage of it all.
What's the cuisine you were most looking forward to when you got to Chicago? You're coming from a smaller town in Eugene. Now you've got all the restaurants you could ask for. So what was some of the food you were most excited to try here in Chicago?
You know, being from Iowa and only being 2.5 hours from Chicago, I had the opportunity to come to Chicago quite a bit growing up, but just to come in for the pizza. Obviously the pizza's great. The great steakhouses here in Chicago, the great desserts, Sweet Mandy B's and the cupcakes over there, the wings at McGee's. So there's so many great places here in Chicago, Francis's Deli. So, you know, I've probably been looking forward to it too much of all of the great food. I just can't, Italian, Greek food. So I've been trying a little bit of everything. And I like, I'm a big foodie. So it's been great so far.
You mentioned the pizza. So I got to ask, are you more a thin crust or a deep dish guy?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm big on deep dish. I really like it. I've had some really good thin pizza here though as well. But the deep dish, you can't beat it. Illuminati's, Giordano's, I like them all.
You mentioned you're from Iowa, so you grew up close to Chicago. Was there any athletes, maybe from Chicago, maybe from Iowa even, that you grew up as a basketball player sort of idolizing?
Michael Jordan. Growing up in Iowa, obviously not having an NBA team there, the Bulls were like our adopted NBA team. So just watching all of those games and just, growing up being a Jordan fan. So that's the guy that I really grew up idolizing as a player. As far as from a coaching standpoint, guys like John Thompson, they were great coaches, but really Michael Jordan.
Of course, and not a wrong answer here in Chicago, that's for sure. Any memories, either as a player or a coach, that stand out to you as maybe a favorite moment you've had prior to DePaul?
As a player or a coach, I'd have to say advancing to the Final Four We played Kansas in Kansas City, which was really like a home game for them. And to beat Kansas and Kansas City and advancing on to the Final Four would have been, you know, it was a great memory for me, and just seeing what our players had achieved and just having the opportunity to coach on that stage at the Final Four was a great experience. So just winning that game, which was equivalent to it being a road game, even though it wasn't in Lawrence, Kansas, it was in Kansas City, but just winning that game and advancing on to the Final Four was a great memoy for me.
Hopefully the first of a couple more Final Fours in your coach career now that you're here at DePaul.
Really hoping
So you've coached in a Final Four, and I'd imagine coaching at Oregon, so close to Nike and whatnot, you've had a chance to meet some pretty cool people, either celebrities, players, or coaches. Is there anyone who stands out that you've had a chance to meet through basketball?
I tell you what, meeting the owner of Nike, Phil Knight, and you know, just the relationship that I've been able to develop with Mr. Knight over the course of the last 11 years has been a great experience for me. So again, being at Oregon and, you know, having him around and so available to us on campus, but just building that relationship with him was something that I really value.
And Michael Jordan, have you had the chance to meet the greatest yet?
I have. I've met Michael Jordan probably 4 or 5 times, just kind of on the campus up at Nike, and then at some sporting events. So I've had a chance to meet him and spend some time with him as well, which, you know, that's always great as well.
What point in your either playing career or maybe just outside of school did you realize that you wanted to keep your life in basketball and become a coach?
I tell you what, towards the end of my college career, my junior and senior year in college, I really started working a lot of camps in the summer. So working camps in June and July, going to different college campuses and working with the kids. So that's really what I would do for like 6 to 8 weeks in the course of the summer to make a little extra money. And I realized how much I wanted to stay involved with the game of basketball, and wanted to work with young men. When young men would come on visits, I always volunteered to host them. So I was just really interested in people and building those relationships. So, you know, I really hosted guys on visits quite a bit during college. And I really knew that was something I wanted to do when I did graduate from college and get into college coaching.
And what made you decide that college coaching is where you wanted to stay? I'm sure you've had chances to maybe move to the next level. What's kept you at the college level?
You know, I really thought maybe I could have more of an influence on young men's lives at the college level. Just watching them develop from high school young men to college guys, and just having more of an influence on those guys. What really attracted me to college coaching and why I've stayed in it so long and just stayed at this level.
So you've known you wanted to be a coach for a long time. Is there anything you know now that you would have told maybe basketball player Coach Stubbs prior to graduating, that maybe some advice you'd give to your younger self?
To work as many camps as you can work, be involved with the game of basketball. And if you realize this is something you want to do, be very passionate about it. And that's kind of the advice I would give, but just being involved with camps, clinics, you know, working summer camps, Boys and Girls Club, YMCAs, and just being involved in young men and women's lives.
Growing up in Iowa, I'm assuming a good athlete if you're able to play at the college level. Did you play any other sports growing up?
You know, I did growing up. You know, I played baseball, I played football, I ran track. I did a little bit of everything growing up. It wasn't until the latter part of my high school career, sophomore year, that I knew I was only going to have to concentrate on one sport in particular, and I chose basketball. It probably was my best sport, but growing up, I did play baseball, football, track and field, even did a little wrestling. You know, wrestling is big in the state of Iowa. So that was something I was involved with, you know, in middle school as well.
Fantastic. And we're asking a lot of these questions on behalf of the Blue Crew. Again, that's our official student spirit organization on campus. You come from a school with a great student section, but what does it mean that you'll have a full Blue Crew in attendance at Wintrust Arena this fall to your program?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, you don't realize the student section is so important, and we need the students behind us. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of students when the campus opens back up, but just having them at Wintrust and having that home court advantage is so, so important. I think they will enjoy our style of play, of getting up and down the floor, you know, playing fast break, entertaining style of basketball, pressing, causing some turnovers, scoring off of our defense, and a team that plays extremely hard, a team that plays the right way, that's going to play unselfish, that's going to share the ball. But really looking forward to having the student section there, and that's going to be very important to our success.
How much are you looking forward to getting a chance to coach in the Big East? And I'm sure with your connections, maybe welcoming some other big programs to the best city in college basketball.
The Big East is a great league. You know, it speaks for itself. I was fortunate to coach in the Big East when I was at Cincinnati. So I've coached at a lot of these places prior to being here. But just looking forward to going up against some of those schools with great tradition, and this being such a great league. And then again, looking forward to them coming back to Chicago and having them here.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the White Sox and Cubs trying to get out to some games this summer, but are you a fan of any other sports that maybe when you have some free time that you're watching?
You know, I just like sports in general. You know, I like to go, you know, I want to catch some Bears games, obviously some Bulls games. I'm a big playoff for baseball. So just, you know, I like sports in general. We're really watching the playoffs now in the NBA. So I'm pretty glued to that TV when I have a little off time watching sports, whatever's on.
Growing up in Iowa, were you a Cubs fan or a Sox fan?
I would probably say more so the Cubs growing up in Iowa. You know, there's a lot of Cubs fans in Iowa, so I would say more so the Cubs growing up in Iowa.
Some other rapid fire questions, Coach. Any favorite book you've had either, you know, during your student days or that you've read now in your coaching career?
You know, I'm reading now. I Came as a Shadow by John Thompson, which is a very, very good book that I've enjoyed reading. I'm reading a book by Bill Walsh, The Score Takes Care of Itself, a leadership book. So I do like to read a lot on my downtime when I'm traveling on planes, just relaxing on the weekends. I do like to read a good book.
Certainly two good coaches there to learn from. What about a favorite movie?
My favorite movie is probably Life, with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy. I probably watched that movie 50 times. And every time it comes on, I tune into it if I'm around. But no, that's probably my favorite movie.
So you're into comedies?
I am a little bit. I am. Like a good laugh.
Now, Coach, the big question I got to ask you, are you a Chicago-style hot dog guy?
I love hot dogs. So everything about them I love.
Now, do you know the 7 condiments? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Mustard, relish, onions, tomato wedge, pickle, peppers. Is it salt?
It's the celery salt. You got it.
Celery salt. There you go.
You're already a local.
And I know what not to put on it.
What's that?
Ketchup.
Even better. Well, Coach, I thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself today. Again, any other message you want to share to the Blue Crew and the students that will have a chance to meet you here in the fall?
Just like want you guys to know, I'm really looking forward to getting the chance to meet you all. We really need your support. It's going to be very, very worthwhile for you guys to come to the games. We're going to play extremely hard. We're going to play together, and we really need you guys to support in the stands, and looking forward to meeting you.
Well, Coach Stubbs, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your time and a little bit more about yourself. We're excited for the upcoming season and looking forward to visiting with you again. Until then, stay safe, Blue Demons.